All right, got this little knife pretty much finished up, ready to sharpen it. So take you through the process.
So there's a couple things to consider with just edge geometry. One of the things is your bevel grind. How high up are you going to go? Is it a flat grind? What kind of grind is it? What is the angle of the grind? But probably more importantly, you have to ask yourself, what are you going to use the knife for? And that's going to dictate what kind of grind you'll have, and as well, how thick will you leave this before you actually start to put your fine edge on it. This one I've left at about 15 to 20 thou thick, and that's going to be just fine for the purposes of what I'm intending to have this knife be used for. So that's where the knife is right now, ready to go over to the grinder and put a fine edge on it. We got a 180 grit blue belt here, Starkey, I don't know how to pronounce it. And I'm just going to use that to kind of bring this to a little bit more of a finished angle and get that secondary angle on it so that I can take it over to the paper wheel setup and go from there. Then we'll come back and do the leather strop. But this is what I'll do first. All right, so just barely hit it, taking some of that material off on both sides. You really want to be careful not to get your angles weird and grind back on the tip of your knife. That's really easy to do, especially on a belt that's kind of got a little bit of slack in it. All right, over to the paper wheel system.
You know you're getting close when you can see that little burr starting to develop. And I can see that burr on the edge. You don't want to knock that off. You basically want to align it. But it's not consistent across the whole blade, so keep going until you have that burr along the whole edge. This has a decent burr across the edge. It's a little bit hard to see on the camera, but it's there. Now we'll hit it on the paper side. A little hard to do one-handed. This thing's pretty sharp, but I'm gonna hit it a couple more times on this side, see if I can get a little bit better burr on it.
Okay, let's go hit it on the strop. All right, time to strop it. I think that'll work.
A little bit better shot maybe here. This thing is mean. It will shave. Just hear those hairs popping. All right, it's ready to go. I found one of the best tests for the sharpness of a knife. Shaving is good, cutting paper, that's all fun. But if you've got a piece of leather, a good decent piece of leather like this, and it's just sitting here. It's not clamped down, it can move freely. I'm one-handing this. And if you just barely start to apply pressure to the leather, you'll see that the knife already starts to cut in. It just wants to eat. And if I held it down with something, just put the bottle of water on it, just give me a little resistance, you can just see how much it just wants to just cut. And if I held it with my hand, a little bit better, the thing just wants to eat. I'll show you a different angle. Let's check this out. I'm gonna hold it with my hand and just, this thing just wants to go to town. I mean, hardly any pressure. I can just go for it and it just wants to eat. So I find that to be a pretty good test of the sharpness of a knife, how easily it cuts into leather.